Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. I'm Chef Renee, and we're going to be doing lots of great things this season. Today's show, we're going to be making lamb chops, one of my favorites. We're also going to be making a Brussels sprout saute with garlic and onions. Delicious. We're also going to make a creamy polenta to go with it. And then we're going to do some candied sweet potatoes just for our garnish, but they're going to be delicious. So let's get started. All right, first what we want to make sure that we have is I'm going to go ahead and turn on the burner because you do want your grill pan really hot for the lamb chops. And I'm actually going to use the lamb loin chops or loin chops of the lamb. Yes. And so we're going to get that going. I'm going to turn my Vol Wrath on. My handy dandy heat there. And once that gets hot, we're actually going to put those lamb chops on top. But let me get them out for you. Now I have here a plate of beautiful loin chops from the lamb, and in this bowl what I've done is I've actually put in a food processor. I've actually put in there some rosemary, which we have right here. I've actually also put in some delicious fresh thyme, and we have some garlic in there, some fresh garlic. We have olive oil in it, and then a little bit of cayenne pepper, not too much, and some sea salt I have in here as well. And so we process that all together. Now you need to go ahead and season your lamb chops, and then you want to put them in the refrigerator for at least an hour to give all of the herbs and everything time to sort of kind of just harmonize. And then you want to take them out and let them become room temp. So I've actually done that. Now I left 2 of them without the seasonings, and I'm going to put that on right now because I feel that heat. There we are. So I'm actually going to go ahead and finish up these 2. There we are. Oh, and you know, this just smells so delicious. Rosemary is one of those herbs that it has a very unique, independent taste. And when I say independent taste, that means that it's kind of bossy. So you want to be careful on that. Whatever the recipe calls for, use that amount. And then you can adjust the flavor the way that you'd like it to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and brush the other 2 sides. And these other 2 that I didn't put the seasoning on, it's still going to be okay because they have come down to room temp. They did everything that the other lamb chops did. They hung out together. And so there, I think we are good with that. So I'm going to sit that over here. And then just going to drizzle just a teeny bit. Because remember, the lamb actually already has some oil on it. So I'm going to check my heat, make sure we're ready for my sizzle. I got there we are. My first sizzle of the season. All right, terrific. So I just turned that up a little bit to bump it up a little bit more. You know what I think I'm going to do? Actually going to sit that right in here. I'm going to get all of those nice flavors. That is excellent. And let's put the rest on. There we are. You hear that? Now what we want to make sure too is not only does the sizzle let you know that the pan is hot and ready, it's actually going to sear them very nicely. And it doesn't take a lot to cook lamb. You usually cook it to about medium rare. So we have these in the pan. And you want to cook them maybe 2 minutes you know, if you're kind of self-conscious, go ahead and do it 3 minutes on that side. And then you want to cook them another 2 to 3 minutes on the other side. Now, I like to just sit mine in a warmed oven, like a really warmed oven. I foil it and tint it and just let it hang out a little bit. And I take it out, not long, only about maybe 2 more minutes. And then you take it out and you let it sit and rest. And then you can start on the rest of your meal knowing that you've got everything out of the way. So while that's going, I'm going to get this cleaned up just a little bit out of our way so we can move on. And don't forget, when you put those herbs in the food processor and the garlic, go ahead and add that olive oil right in there. Add the salt, add the pepper. You're all good. Also going to have today is we're going to have some glazed carrots. I'm sorry, glazed sweet potatoes. I was going to say you could actually substitute and use carrots for it, and you actually can. Carrots are actually wonderful for this. Now, what I like to do is certainly with the potatoes to get some of the starch out, you go ahead and slice them, you put them in the water, and you can leave it there. You can do it overnight if you want, leave it, or you can leave it just an hour, half an hour, just wash them and pour it off. And then what you want to do before you put them in the pan is you want to make sure they're dry. So we've already taken the water off of this, and they're pretty much dry. I'm going to check on this because I can hear it and I can smell it. Yum. It's actually beautiful. So I'm going to turn it because I just want to get another kind of sear on it. Now, there are lots of things that are happening now in this season. So I want you to feel free to go to your local farms, eat locally, eat in season. You know, when you eat in season, you're actually getting the best of everything at the time that it actually is ready, which means that it's very good for your body. See, there's a method to the madness. So I'm going to turn the heat up on my skillet over here. And what we're getting ready for here is we're going to do the glazed carrots, glazed sweet potatoes. We have our sweet potatoes here. I'm going to put a little butter in that pan. I'm going to put a little bit of oil. We'll use this oil. We're going to put a little bit of oil in the pan. And I like the flavors of the oil and the butter together. I'm not going to use all that butter, so you can release the hand over the heart. I'm going to protect that. So we're going to use a little butter. We're going to use olive oil. Then we're going to go ahead and put our carrots in there. Now, you may want to, I'm not going to, you can put a lid on there if you want to try to quick cook them. Or you can actually blanch your sweet potatoes and you can shock them. And I keep saying carrots. I'm going to have some carrots soon. So you can blanch them and you can shock them, and then that way they'll be actually already tender. But I'm going to cook them just for a little firm because remember, mine are for garnish. Let's check on these. They are looking good. There, we got a little bit of color on there. And they release easy. And when they release easy, it tells you that it's okay to turn them over. So that's been about 2 minutes or so. I just want to get a little more color on them. Some of them didn't have all the color I'm looking for. So I'm going to let that go. There, we're going to add, let's put the butter in. Here we go. Now, when you put the butter in, that's going to tell you whether your pan is hot and ready to receive the ingredients. So I'm going to roll that around because with the induction burners, the heat is almost instantaneous. So that's actually good. Remember, these are my smart burners. I actually love my bowl wrap. Let's check on the lamb. Okay, here we are. Wonderful. All right. Very good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to let those go for a little while longer. Looks like my butter is all melted. Oil is ready. This smells so delicious. The combination of rosemary and thyme. And I'll also tell you this, what I added. And you can add this or you can leave it out. I actually added a little bit of lemon zest. Not too much, but I added a little bit of lemon zest. All right, we're going to add our sweet potatoes. There's the sizzle. There we are. And I'm just going to let that cook. I'm not going to dilly-dally with it too much. Hadn't heard dilly-dally in a while, have you? All right. So we've got that going. Now, you say, well, you have some other ingredients here. I do. I have a cinnamon stick. I have a little honey. You can actually use agave if you'd like. You can use brown sugar if you like, or you can use maple syrup if you'd like. I just have a little honey here. I have some mint because I absolutely love, I love mint. I like it. Oh, I love mint. Now, if you wanted to, because there have been times when I'm cooking at home and I run out of mint, and I've actually taken a mint tea bag and I've actually put it inside of the skillet, put the lid on so it could absorb all the flavors from the mint. So that's fantastic. And then I have a little water. Little water is going to actually help steam it up a bit. So we got that. Then I'm going to do a little bit of salt right now. And what the salt does is it actually takes the newness away from the potatoes so you can actually give it whatever kind of flavor you'd like. Let's just make sure they're all coated. Yum. Let's see how they're doing. Oh, wonderful. Oh, great. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to turn it back over. We are actually doing really, really well with these. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Perfect. Delish. Oh, aren't they gorgeous? Now, what we're going to do is, like I said, remember I like to finish these off in the oven. So we're actually going to cover that up with aluminum foil. And I'm going to let it hang out in the oven for about 2 to 3 minutes. Nothing major, because you like to cook the lamb till it's about medium rare. All right, so we're going to get a little bit of foil. I've already turned my burner off. And we're going to move that. Let me make sure we're ready. We're all set down here. Excellent. Perfect. All right, so we are all set. And while that's happening, let's go ahead and check on our sweet potatoes. They too smell delicious. Sweet potatoes and butter. Yes, right? Okay, so I can feel them becoming tender, so I'm going to go ahead and add maybe just a drop of water, because they're already tender. See how that creates a steam? That's just in case you want them a little more tender than they are. We're not going to use all of the honey, just a little. And if you like them sweeter, you can use more. That's good for me. I'm going to stir and make sure they all get that on. The honey will also help with a glaze. The butter will do it too. You see how that color has changed a bit? All right, so we're done with that. I'm going to throw in a couple of mint leaves. Now, traditionally, lamb is eaten with mint or mint jelly. So we're going to get our mint in, but we're going to get it from someplace else. And I'm going to throw the cinnamon in because I like cinnamon. All right, and let's go ahead and move that around. Oh, this smells so delicious already. Fantastic. Excellent. Oh, that is perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. And during the break, I'll go ahead and finish because they look like they're pretty much done. Those sweet potatoes, yummy, and I might taste them too. We're also going to check on our lamb, but then we're going to get ourselves set up to make our creamy, cheesy polenta, and we're also going to do our Brussels sprouts. So I'll see you when we get back. Hi, I'm Chef Renee of Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee, and we're back for another fantastic, fun-filled season with recipes and foods that are sure to excite and inspire your palate. So join us this season on Simply Fresh Foods with Chef Renee. Be sure to check your local listings for showtimes. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now, what I've just done is I have a large, it's really like a cast iron enamel pot, and I actually have just poured into it 4.5 cups of water, and that's actually us getting started with our creamy, cheesy polenta. Bit of salt in it, a little pinch of salt there. We're going to bring that up to a boil. Then we're going to add our polenta. Now, you know, I have a lot of people say, what is polenta? What is polenta? And the best way to describe it is, are you familiar with grits? These are just yellow grits, and they're done differently. And it sounds fancier if you say polenta, doesn't it? Yeah, you can charge $7.95 for it rather than $2.99. So this is yellow cornmeal. I like to use like a medium grind, but you can use coarse. It just cooks longer. That's all. I'm bringing the water to a boil, and then I'm going to add the polenta. You want to make sure you do that in that order, and then just whisk and stir so that the polenta doesn't have any lumps in it. Now, a lot of restaurants, they'll go ahead and cook the polenta. When it's all done, nice and thick, they'll spread it in a baking dish. And they're not going to bake it. What they're going to do is cover it up, put it in the refrigerator, and then they'll take it out once it's solidified, and they actually will slice it either triangles, they'll use biscuit cutters, they'll cut it out in strips like French fries. You can actually get polenta fries at some restaurant. And then they'll put a little butter in the pan and they'll saute it. Now, in the creamy, cheesy form, like I say, it might be about $2.99 on the menu, but when you've gone through all that hard labor and fancy work, it's going to cost you about $7.95 for maybe an eighth of what you actually have made today. So now you can do it yourself, just what they do in the restaurants. All right, so I think my water is almost boiling. Yep. We're going to let a little bit more bubbles come up there. I'm actually going to turn on the back burner. And we're going to get it, we're going to go ahead and get a little warm. Not too hot. What's going to go on the back burner is we're actually going to take Brussels sprouts. Now, I've actually put the Brussels sprouts, I've cut the end part of the Brussels sprouts off. And then I put it in my food processor with a slicer. And I've pressed it down, and it slices it up, shreds it up very nicely, easy to cook. So we're going to get that started over there. Now, I think it's ready here for me. So I'm going to whisk. Because that water is really, really hot, the polenta starts to cook immediately. And you know, polenta's not difficult to cook. It's just time consuming. Not really, because it cooks quickly. So you just sort of kind of have to watch what it is you are doing. All right. So I'm stirring. And you've got to be careful too, because this gets really hot and it can start bubbling and pop out on you, and it's really hot. So I'm actually stirring it. And it's already thick in here. You see it? It's starting to pop. I'm going to lower the temp just because I want to maintain control of it. All right, so the polenta is actually doing very, very well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust that temperature just a little bit. I'm going to actually put the lid on it and let it hang out for a little bit. I'm not putting the lid all the way on because I do want to keep an ear on it instead of an eye. Okay, little joke there. And we're going to go ahead and get started on our Brussels sprouts. Is my butter. There we are. I'm going to take that off just so I can control that a little bit. Going to add the oil. There we are. My pan was really, really hot. Of course, you know I love that. I'm going to go ahead and add my onions, my garlic, and we'll let them do a little dance together in here. See, you thought I was kidding. Look at them dancing. Here we are. Just a little bit, maybe a minute or two. Not trying to fry them. Then we're going to add our nice washed and shredded Brussels sprouts. Now, this is a good way to ease it in on the kids when they're not paying attention. There we go. You tell them they're eating green, edible confetti. There we go. Ooh, I hear my delicious polenta. Okay, so I'm going to stir the Brussels sprouts. I actually have lowered the heat quite a bit on the polenta, okay? And that is because we don't want it to stick or anything like that. And look at how green and beautiful the Brussels sprouts are. I'm going to lower the temp on that as well. And let's see, we got the reason I didn't put these onions in there, the red onions, I wanted to save them till the end. They've been soaking in white wine. I actually like the flavor, and I like the color that they provide to this dish. So I'll add those. Just check on that polenta. Oh, it is so ready. I'm going to turn the burner off completely on the polenta. It's right where I want it. Ooh, I wish you could smell this. It's not only pleasing to the eye, which it is, this beautiful green and purple. Oh, it smells just delicious. So what I'm going to do now is add a little salt. I'm going to start flavoring that up. And I'm not going to use too much salt because I'm going to add something a little acidic there. Not a little, it's actually a lot acidic. But we have that. Let's do some fresh ground pepper. Isn't that beautiful? That beautiful, vibrant green. Then you have the purple. And then I went pow with the black pepper. Yum. Now, this is totally up to you at this point because for me, the Brussels sprouts are just perfect. I'm going to turn the burner off there. See, this is something quick, healthy, easy for you to do. You can do the prep on the weekend and have it during the week. So I've turned that burner off. You can at this time, or you can wait until you're ready to serve it, dump in your toasted pine nuts with that. I have a lot of lemon juice, but I'm going to use just a little bit of it. And that's going to add flavor as well as it's going to help bring the entire dish together. Because remember, there's just a hint. There's a little lemon zest in the lamb. So once again, we're bringing everything together. Remember the sweet potatoes and the mint that go very well with the lamb. And now we've got the Brussels sprouts with the lemon juice. Perfect. Let's check it out. Hot. Mmm. Yummy. Who'd like to join me? Mmm. That's delicious. Mmm. What we're going to do now is, that is perfect. I'm not doing anything else with that except eating it. I'm going to remove the lid from the polenta and we will finish this off. Let's put it down here. Out of the way. All right, now what we're going to do with the polenta is, oh, wonderful. Perfect. Let's make sure it's ready for everything else. It certainly looks absolutely beautiful. I like to just stick a spoon in it and take a little bit of it. Now with this, you have to really be careful because it will burn your tongue. And it's thick, as you can see. We're ready. We're ready. Wonderful. All right, what we're going to add, that's really good, is we're going to add some butter to it. You say that's a lot of butter? Well, that's a lot of polenta there. So we're going to go ahead and flavor that up. I actually have something really special I like in there. I have some roasted garlic. I have parsley. Let me get to stirring that. I'm going to also add milk. Now, the milk is, you should let it come to room temperature, or you can throw it actually in the microwave and warm it up. All the while, you're continuing to stir. Now, the heat will carry, and it'll also warm the milk. But more importantly, what that heat will do is melt the cheese. Isn't that fabulous? So I just put in some cheddar cheese, fresh, shredded cheddar cheese. And here is some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I did say creamy, cheesy polenta, right? Okay. So we have that. I think I'm going to take the whisk out. I don't want to lose any cheese on the whisk. And we are going to use, let's use this. Oh, wow. This is fabulous. Oh, and it smells delicious. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. This is wonderful. Look at that. Beautiful. And they are hanging out and dancing. And while they're doing that, I'm going to smash some garlic. I have roasted garlic, which I absolutely love. Another thing, yet another thing. I think I love everything. And I'm just going to smash. See how easy that is? Smash the garlic. It's roasted. Whenever I'm making my garlic olive oil or garlic infused oils, I actually save the garlic and I use it because I rub it across maybe some toast or crostini, or I use it in pasta. I even make a nice, delicious Dijon mustard mayo or aioli with the garlic. So now I'm going to put it right into the polenta. This is what we call savory polenta. I'm going to add in some fresh parsley. And then I'll go back to stirring. This is so beautiful. Now, this recipe was adapted from another chef I saw, but they didn't add the roasted garlic. And my measurements are different because I like things the way that I like them. So when you try this recipe out, change anything you'd like. Just make sure it's something you like. Now it looks like everything is all set. What we are going to do is we're going to take our last station break today. And when we come back, we are actually going to plate the food. We're going to start eating and have a party. So I'll see you in a few moments. Oh, my most favorite dish in season 1. I don't know, because I really did enjoy the garlicky chicken. That was fabulous with the cream and the cognac in it. It was a delicious dish. But at the same time, I also enjoyed the shrimp with the scampi. So, you know, I'm going to say it's a toss-up between a few shows. Welcome back. As you can see, we are ready. I certainly know I am ready to eat. Yay! We have our lamb chops there. That's a rosemary and a thyme, so I put the rosemary on top so you'll know. We got our Brussels sprouts with the pine nuts, the red onion soaked in white wine. We have some sweet potatoes that we are actually going to use to garnish, but we're going to eat them as well. And then we have our creamy, cheesy polenta. So let's do our plating. What I have here is I made a balsamic reduction. And I actually just am going to maybe just drizzle a little somewhere. There we are. And let's see. We'll go ahead and start. Man, this looks so delicious. Let's put some right here, front and center. Now remember, this is creamy, cheesy polenta, and I've actually added some roasted garlic. Okay, I'll save some for other people. All right, so then we're going to add some of our Brussels sprouts. Let's move that over. Here we are. Oh, this looks so beautiful and smells delicious. All righty. There we are, a little bit more. And that didn't take long at all, did it? Now, we're going to use the sweet potatoes last, so I'm going to leave that there. And let's go ahead and grab our lamb. We'll take, let's see, this one. Delish. And I'm going to put the lamb over here near the balsamic because that's actually what it was made for. All right, and we're gonna sit it right there on top. Let me turn that so you can see that a little bit. There, how's that? Let's go this way. There we are. Now, what we're gonna do is take a couple of the sweet potatoes and we'll actually add them somewhere here. There we are. We don't want to overdo it. I'm going to just hit it a few more times with that balsamic because I'm telling you, that is just delicious. And going to do a little bit of garnish. And perhaps a little sprig of parsley. And there we have it. We have our lamb dinner, yay! And I've actually just paired it with